Hello everyone, my name is Heather. Thank you for joining me for this video today, which I am filming from my stateroom on the Disney Dream. This is stateroom number 7532 on deck 7 of the Disney Dream. This is our first cruise on the Disney Dream and we've had a very good time. I'll tell you some more details about the cruise in a second. What this video is today is this is something I've started doing at the end of every cruise that we take, which is where I talk about the 3 best and 3 worst things from our cruise experience, and I try to focus specifically on the cruise and not the trip as a whole and things that would have been like out of Disney Cruise Line's control, because I want you to be able to know what to expect with the cruise itself, like the ship, the itinerary, things like that. Okay, this cruise was a 4-night Bahamas cruise on the Disney Dream, which was the 3rd ship in Disney Cruise Line's fleet. We are kind of going on them in order. So we went on the Magic first back in 2001. We've been on, and the Magic was actually our last Disney cruise in 2023. And we went on the Wonder, which was Disney's second, I think that's right. I think it was Magic and then Wonder. We've been on the Wonder 3-4 times. Now on this cruise, which was out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which was a new cruise port for us, it was just me and my adult daughter, Megan. This was just her and I. This was kind of a Mother's Day / birthday cruise for Megan. We also did change this cruise from when we originally had it booked in August. It was supposed to be over my birthday, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, over my birthday in August. But we couldn't do it then because Megan will have to work. So we switched it to here because this week we knew she was going to be available. She literally just had finals last week and then I picked her up and we immediately came on this cruise. Okay, I have 2 other sons if you haven't followed the channel. My older son Andrew is in his late 20s and he is an attorney, and he's obviously busy with work and stuff, and that wasn't even a consideration for him to go. He's lived on his own on the East Coast for several years. And then my younger son, Ben, who is still in high school, he had to stay home because he has school and he's on the tennis team. And so, like, today is Thursday, May 22nd, I think, and he has a tennis match tonight. So he couldn't come. It was kind of a bummer, though, actually. Ben actually got sick while we were gone and had to stay home from school yesterday. So that was a bummer. But anyway, that's the situation. It's just me and my daughter on this cruise, kind of assessing what we think of it and stuff like that. Overall, we're very, very happy with this cruise. We have an ocean view balcony cabin with a balcony. Megan is sitting out there right now. You know, we have the living desk area here. Megan slept on this couch that converts into a bed. She said that was actually quite comfortable, was pretty decent for her. And then I had the big bed back there, and then the split bathroom is back there. We think the ship is beautiful. We were very happy with the itinerary. The 3 new things for us on this cruise were this ship. This was our first time going on the Disney Dream. Port Everglades, which is the cruise port out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That was new for us. We liked at least the Disney terminal at Port Everglades very much. It's all decorated like Finding Nemo themed, and it was very quick and easy, especially for us. You can see my lanyard over there. I have gold status with Disney Cruise Line, which means I've been on more than 5 Disney cruises, between 6 and 10. It's only going to take me 3 more cruises, which I'm probably going to knock off pretty quick, and then I'm going to be platinum, I think. We really liked the port experience. It was very quick and easy. We got on the ship very quickly. We bypassed the whole line because of our gold status. Security was very fast and easy, and we timed it out perfect. They let us get on. We took our picture, got on the ship, quick, easy, went straight to our room. We got there basically right at 1:30 when the rooms opened up. Our hotel was a very quick drive away. We stayed at the Embassy Suites on 17th Street. Very, very quick and easy shuttle ride. We paid $12 each for the shuttle from the hotel. Really liked the Port Everglades. So I would definitely cruise out of Port Everglades again. That was a very positive cruise departure port. And then our 3rd new thing for this cruise was Disney's newest private island destination, which make sure you go back and watch the vlog from the day we were there. And that is Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. And I will say right now, because I don't want to give away too much yet, that was definitely also a very positive experience. So the 3 new things for this cruise, this ship, Port Everglades, and the new Disney destination of Lighthouse Point were all very positive, good aspects of this cruise for us. So I can say that we're very pleased with how all of those turned out. All right, let me start out with the 3 best things about this cruise. Number 1, the ship. We love this ship. This ship is beautiful. I love the magic. I love the wonder. I now love the dream. This ship is really, really gorgeous. That atrium and that chandelier are just absolutely stunning. I like the layout. It is a little bit bigger and a little bit different than Magic or Wonder. It has some more passenger decks. It's also a little bit windier. Like, you'll be going down some of the hallways and it looks like you're walking up to a dead end. But then if you go around the corners, a lot of the time it keeps going, which was kind of interesting to me. Megan kind of got lost a couple times because of that, but it's a really pretty ship. We like the restaurants in it very much that are different than the restaurants, similar restaurants on the Magic and the Wonder. It's a little bit newer than Magic and Wonder. It did also just come out of a dry dock a few months ago. So it's looking very spiffy and in very, very good shape. And Disney Cruise Line takes excellent care of their ships. So, I mean, even the Magic and the Wonder, which are 20 plus, 25, 26, 27 years old, they look fantastic. I mean, Disney takes really, really good care of their ships, so you don't have to worry about that at all. And this one looks great. The bed was super comfortable. I slept fantastic on this ship. The ship is in very good shape. It's very beautiful. It's very pretty. I like the more traditional nautical theming that they do, and they still do the things like we went on the Art of the Theme tour this morning where they talk about, you know, the 4 aspects that they put in, you know, traditional ocean cruising, ocean crossing type style with modern amenities like, you know, air conditioning, things like that, plus whimsy and storytelling. Those are the 4 aspects that Disney likes to put into their ships, and you definitely see all of that here on the Disney Dream. So we were very pleased with this ship. We think this is probably our new favorite ship. I still really love the other 2 though too. I like all 3 of these first 3 ships so far. That was our number 1 best thing, was the ship, the Disney Dream. Number 2 best thing, the crew on this ship. Wow, they're really good. Again, there's a lot of crew. Maybe it's just the crew that we encountered, but I had such really positive interactions with the crew on this ship. Very, very, very good customer service. Really happy. And now I was saying, I think that they treat me really well because I've got that gold lanyard on. And there are very few gold passengers on this ship. I've seen less than a handful besides myself with a gold lanyard. And when you've got a lanyard, you know, whether you're silver, gold, or something else, you usually do wear it on the ship. And some of it may have been that they know I'm gold and I'm a previous Disney cruiser. I know what I'm doing. You know, I'm used to the service, whatever. And that they may treat me that way. But Megan also said, she said, Mom, you're always just so nice to them. I mean, I really talk to the crew and take time out. I ask them about their families. I ask them how, you know, what contract they're on. You know, how are they doing? I'm very, very, very friendly and helpful and nice, and so she thinks it's more that. But I also just think that they're just really well trained. Disney does a very good job with their cast members and their crew on their ships, and the customer service standard on Disney Cruise Line is very high. You don't get this same service on other cruise lines, at least definitely not the mainstream cruise lines. And honestly, Holland America is considered a premium cruise line, just like Disney Cruise Line is, and their customer service was nothing close to what we get on Disney Cruise Line. So I'd have to go on a luxury brand to see if it's better. It's hard to imagine. I mean, it's probably more attentive because the passenger to crew ratio is going to be smaller, but It's very, very good on Disney Cruise Line. And especially if you're nice to them, they're going to be nice back. A couple of people that stood out for me on this cruise, there was a guy in customer service and a young woman too that I talked to a couple different times. They saved my butt on the first day. My backpack got lost that had all my paperwork and my camera equipment and everything in it. The luggage tag that the porters put on it got ripped off. So they had no idea what stateroom to take it to, and I thought it was lost. I thought somebody might have mixed it up. It was a pretty common Walt Disney World backpack that's very popular in the parks right now that I bought not that long ago. I thought maybe somebody had accidentally gotten it, taken it from the hall and gotten it in their room, and we're not going to see the thing again. And I was literally kind of freaking out because I had 5 days of travel in Minneapolis on this camera that was in that backpack that I would have lost if I'd lost that backpack. So it wasn't so much the stuff. I mean, I have travel insurance. I carry an annual travel insurance plan. So I would have been fine and gotten reimbursed for the monetary value of the things I lost. But the memories I had documented in the camera, I can't get that back. So I was pretty stressed, but they were on top of it, and they were helping me search. And I walked the whole deck 7 myself until all the luggage was out of the hallway. Everybody had taken everything in. And then my stateroom attendant and another stateroom attendant were both looking, and they got on it with customer service, and they found my backpack and had it to me before dinner. So very nice. And I went down to thank them and then kind of made friends with a couple of the staff and the customer service desk and guest relations that are there in the mornings. I didn't catch their names, but I was chatting with them all the time. Rico, our head server in the dining room, great guy, super friendly. Had lots of really positive conversations and interactions with him. He really enjoyed talking to us, even just now at lunch. And our serving staff in the dining room, Elaine and Kenny, were really, really terrific. Jasper, our stateroom attendant, does a phenomenal job. We don't see him much. We've only seen him a couple of times quick in passing. So, but I mean, he does a great job too. Yeah, just everybody, super friendly. Oh, the entertainment staff. Krista, she was our Art of the Theme tour guide this morning, and she is our lifeboat muster leader for our lifeboat station. So that was kind of cool. So just some really, really great crew interactions on this cruise. Really positive, really nice crew interactions. Can't say a single bad thing about the crew. Third best thing on this cruise, Lighthouse Point. Wow. I didn't know what to make of that, and I'm glad we didn't go. We originally were booked on a cruise right when that opened on the Magic, and I decided not to do it, and I'm glad I didn't do it because there was some negative mixed reviews early on when Lighthouse Point first opened. It's Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point, but I'm still going to call it Lighthouse Point. I did not see the lighthouse. I think it's down one of the nature trails, but we didn't have time for that. But just the beach alone. If you want to go to a beach and swim in the ocean, that beach cannot be beat. That is the most beautiful maintained beach I think I've ever seen. We had such a nice time swimming in the ocean. The water is so blue and so clear, and it was just perfect temperature. The sand is so soft. There weren't any shells, there weren't any rocks, not only on the beach, but like out into the water quite a ways. I'm sure part of that's natural, but a part of it's probably Disney did stuff too. But we were talking with another couple of guests that were swimming in the ocean too, and we just had a really lovely, positive experience. They've planted a lot of flowers and stuff, in Lighthouse Point and everything since it first opened, and it looks really, really nice. And I would definitely go back there and experience more and spend more time there because we were only over there for a few hours, but it was really gorgeous and we had perfect weather that day. So that was great. I really liked Lighthouse Point. So those were my 3 best things. The ship, the crew, Lighthouse Point. Phenomenal experience. Okay, let's talk about the 3 worst things. And we struggled. We actually could have even added more best things on this list, but we did come up with 3 worst things. Number 1 and number 2 kind of go together. Part of it is because of the size of the ship. So this is a bigger Disney Cruise Line ship. It's not as big as the Wish class, which I still am kind of hesitant about going on, honestly. Wish, Treasure, and Destiny, I've got some reservations about. not only because of the design of the ship and how it differs from these 4 original ships, but also because it's bigger. And I'm really glad that in the new class that they're coming out with after the Wish class, that those additional ships, they're going back smaller again, more toward this size or a little smaller even. I just really hope the other thing they do in that new class of ship that's going to be coming out in the future, I really hope they go back to this more traditional nautical ship layout, because it really helps with flow of people throughout the ship. And there's been a lot of complaints from passengers on the Wish class, especially the Wish, that there's a lot of dead ends and it's very choppy and weird and hard to get around and stuff like that. And that's definitely not the case, especially on Magic and Wonder. Magic and Wonder I know like the back of my hand. Okay, so the first worst I would say is the bigger size of the ship and the fact that this is a very busy time of, you know, and it's pretty full. It's not completely full because I literally switched this sailing like a week before we went. 10 days maybe. And there were still plenty of staterooms left to choose from. But it's pretty full and it's pretty busy and the ship is bigger. And that leads to a couple of issues if you don't know what you're doing. And that is crowds and longer lines. Now, we're pretty good at this and we know how to avoid it, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes you are going to run into a long line for something or a long wait or a big crowd somewhere or something. But I guess the places that we ran into some issues were, one is waiting to meet the characters. The lines for that can get long pretty quick. Another one is the line for the aqueduct. We were really looking forward to riding the aqueduct. We had planned to ride it when we got back to the ship from Lighthouse Point. We already had our swimsuits on and everything. We went up there, but by the time we got up there, enough people had come back to the ship and were going up to the top deck that the line was over 20 minutes long. And we were tired and we didn't want to wait in a line outside for 20 minutes. And honestly, it didn't leave us we were rushed as it was to shower and change and get ready for dinner because last night was our dress-up night. So lines and crowds on a bigger ship can always be a potential problem. For the most part, we avoided it, but there's sometimes that it's unavoidable. So that was probably one of the worst things. Along with that, the second worst thing, and this was probably our biggest worst thing, our worst thing, was the passengers. Okay, now not everybody by any means. I mean, most of the passengers are completely lovely, totally fine people. This is what I mean by the passengers. It's 3 things on this particular cruise at least. One is there's a lot of very, very young children, okay? Similar to the time that I took Ben on Disney Wonder out of San Diego over Halloween, school is in session still. I don't know of any American school that's out already at this point in May. So the kids that are on the ship right now are younger than school age. So babies, toddlers, preschoolers, lots of them. And they scream. And they're loud and they run and they're kind of obnoxious. So we can avoid them for the most part, but especially I would say we have late seating, but like just now in lunch in the dining room, yikes. Okay, in the buffet, sometimes in the hallways. Yeah, I'm done. Okay, I don't even want grandkids. Sorry, kids. I don't even really want grandkids. I'm good. I'm done. I mean, I've had my 3 kids. They're adults. I taught for 20 plus years. I'm over it. Okay? I don't need more exposure to small children. I love children. I'm very good with children. I don't need to hang out with them all the time though. Okay, so that was one thing. Second thing about the passengers was the drunk adults. Now, you're going to find drunk adults on any cruise, and some cruises are worse than others. I mean, I'm not going to go on Carnival, probably mainly because of the drunk adults. But when we would go to the 18 and up or the 21 and up stuff on this cruise, because there's a lot of adults only stuff, Megan was really turned off by the drunk adults. They do kind of act kind of obnoxious and stuff like that. But that's not a Disney thing, and Disney doesn't really have any way to control that. And the crew and the, you know, staff and stuff, they did okay with dealing with these people, but for the most part, that's not our favorite thing, is to deal with people like that. The third thing was surprising to me, especially the fact that we were cruising out of Florida, and that was almost everybody on the ship is a brand new cruiser, or at least a first-time Disney cruiser. And the reason I know that is almost nobody is wearing a lanyard. If you are silver, like Megan is, she's got her silver lanyard right there, that means you've been on at least one Disney cruise. On every other Disney cruise I've been on, half, at least, of the cruisers are silver. They've all been on at least one other one. And then, like I said, I don't think I could have even counted 5 people, including myself, on this entire cruise that I've seen with a gold lanyard like mine. So I dare say I might be the most experienced Disney cruiser on this ship right now. And you can tell. You can tell because there's a whole bunch of passengers that have no idea what they're doing. They've either never been on any cruise before, or they've at least never been on a Disney cruise before, and they're a little bit lost. It's just kind of a learning curve, you know, when you know what you're doing and you've been on a lot of these. And it's like the airport, you know, how we kind of wish there were 2 airports. There was the airport for the people who know what they're doing, and the airport for the people who've never flown on a plane before. It's kind of like that. So just the inexperienced level learning curve of some of the passengers can be a little bit for those of us who are more experienced. So that's just something to be aware of. It's not the end of the world, but yeah. Okay, and then our third worst thing, which we struggled to come up with, but we decided to go with the shows. And what we mean by that is the live shows in the Walt Disney Theater in the evening. So there's always a main stage show every night. Sometimes it'll be a big production show, like a big Broadway style production show. Sometimes it'll be something like, you know, a comedian or a magician or something else. On this particular cruise right now, May 2025, the 4 main stage shows, first night was the Golden Mickeys. The Golden Mickeys is a great show, okay? It's a good show. I've seen it a lot. I've seen it many times. Do I need to see it again? Probably not. Okay, but we went to it. The second night was Thunderbolts. Now, Thunderbolts just came out in theaters a couple weeks ago. I had already seen it opening weekend with Ben at home, and I had already done a review of it on my other channel, my Brilliant Blue Reviews channel, where I review entertainment stuff, books, movies, TV, live theater. I'll link that review for you up here. Okay, I had already seen it, but Megan had not seen it, and she wanted to see it. And I do think Thunderbolts is the best Marvel movie they've come out with in a while. I really liked it. She really liked it. We did go to that, but we didn't go to it in the main theater the night that it was on. We actually went to it yesterday after we came back from Lighthouse Point. The third night was Disney's Believe. We don't like that show. The last time we saw it on the Magic, we were giggling and kind of loopy because it's not our favorite. We just don't really care for that show. I've seen it a bunch of times again, and yeah, so we skipped it. We skipped it and we went to Thunderbolts in the Buena Vista Theater instead. Tonight is Beauty and the Beast. Now, I hear it's really, really good. So I can't tell you what I think of Beauty and the Beast yet, but it's Beauty and the Beast. I mean, we were just at the parks in February and we saw Beauty and the Beast live on stage in Hollywood Studios. You know, we've seen Beauty and the Beast a lot. We like Beauty and the Beast, but, you know, along with, like, the same way that Disney keeps making live versions of their, you know, their most popular movies, you know, maybe Imagineers, you could come up with a new idea once in a while. just a suggestion, you know. So I guess we're feeling like, I mean, I really love Tangled on the Magic. I really love Frozen on the Wonder. I love those shows. They're very, very good shows. They're extremely high quality Broadway caliber shows. Disney makes and produces Broadway shows. They know what they're doing. You're not going to be entertained on a Disney cruise, okay? The shows are very, very, very good. But when you've seen them 3, 4, 5 times already, it might be nice to have something new. And especially if you go on the same ship again and you're just seeing the same shows again, it can be kind of a bummer to always have the same shows. So I guess what I would say is I would like it if Disney would put into production shows maybe a little more frequently, but maybe also rotate them between the ships or something. So you're not always putting on the same 3 shows on this ship and the same ones on this ship or something like that. You know what I mean? Just a little bit more variety and frequency of turnover in the main stage productions, I think would be nice. And I think that on this particular ship, we definitely felt that, because we'd already seen the Golden Mickeys a bunch of times and we'd already seen Disney's Believe It a bunch of times. So 2 of the 3 shows were already, you know, we'd already seen them before. It would be nice to have something new. Those were my 3 best and 3 worst things from our cruise on the Disney Dream in May of 2025. I hope that you enjoyed or appreciated this video. If you did, please be sure to give me a thumbs up down below and make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming travel and cruise content. Have a great day, everyone, and safe travels.